Hello students, in today's class we will discuss silicon controlled rectifier, a very interesting uh, thyristor family device. So basically what is meant by a thyristor? Thyristor is a family, thyristor is a family and the members of this family have following characteristics. They have they have three terminals, they have three junctions and they have four layers. So the members which have these characteristics, that is three terminals, three junctions and four layers, they are called as the thyristors. The examples of thyristor family members are SCR, these are the examples, SCR, then triac, diac, okay, then uh, GTO, gate turn off devices, LASCR, light activated silicon controlled rectifier. These are the few examples of thyristor family. We all know that just like a transistor, this thyristor is also a family member. What is transistor? Transistor is also a family. Transistor is also a family, but in this family we are having three terminals, that is base, emitter and gate collector, three terminals. Then we are having two junctions. We are having two junctions and we are having three layers. There are three layers. Okay. So transistor is a three terminal, two junction, three layer device, whereas thyristor is a three terminal, three junction, four layer device. Examples of transistor families are NPN transistor or PNP transistor. You take any NPN, PNP transistor. So these are the examples. Then MOSFETs, okay, FETs, okay, then UJT. So these are the examples of transistor family. In today's class, we will discuss silicon controlled rectifier, that is SCR. Okay, silicon controlled rectifier. Okay, and mainly this device is used for AC to DC conversion. AC to DC conversion. This is important application of this device. If we look at the constructional details or architecture, this device is having four layers like this. So I will show it here. This is P, N, P and N. So P, N, P and N. This terminal, this side of the terminal is called as the anode and it is denoted by A. This terminal is called as the cathode and it is denoted by K, and this terminal is a gate. This terminal is a gate. Symbolically, if we want to represent, then it is represented like this. So this is a symbol. Okay. This terminal is positive terminal, it is called as the anode. This terminal is a negative and it is called as the cathode, and this one is a gate terminal. Okay, so this is the symbol. This is the symbol of SCR. This is the constructional detail. It has three terminals. You can observe this is P, layer is anode. This is cathode, which is N terminal, and this is a gate. You note this gate is near to the cathode. Do not show gate. Many students make mistake that they show gate on this anode side. This is a wrong notation, wrong representation. You should always represent this gate at the cathode side. Right? Now what are the properties of these regions? So properties are classified in two ways. One is thickness and another one is a doping level. So as far as thickness is concerned, this P is a thicker, this N is the thickest layer, this P is again a thicker layer, and this N is a very thin layer. So this is P, thicker, thickest, P is again thicker, and this is thin. As far as doping is concerned, this P layer is moderately doped, this N layer is a lightly doped, this P layer is again moderately doped, and this N layer is highly doped. Okay. Now what are the effects of this doping? Let us try to understand. So if we draw the architecture of this transistor, of this SCR once again, then I will show you here. This is P, N, P and N. This is P, N, P and N. Alright. Now let me pick one more color. Now this is P, and therefore there are holes inside, so I will show holes here, and it is moderately doped. Again this is lightly doped, so very less electrons. Okay, this P again moderately doped, few holes, and this is highly doped, therefore there are very large number of electrons inside. Okay, this is my gate. Now initially you observe, if we apply the gate, if we keep this gate terminal open, and if we apply potential between this anode and this cathode, if we apply the potential in between these two terminals, okay, like this, let's say we made it forward bias, okay, then what shall be its characteristics? Now if we forward bias, then you observe when VAK is applied in forward bias mode, then junction J1 is forward bias, junction J2 is reverse bias, and junction J3 is again forward bias. So if we plot the characteristics of this device, voltage versus current, I am plotting voltage anode to cathode, and I am plotting current on this axis IK. The current is nothing but this current going through the device. Okay, then if I go on increase the potential on this side, then up till some potential level, let me mark it here. Let's say this potential level, the current is very small, and it is in nano or micro amperes. Why it is so? Because this junction J1 is forward bias, junction J2 is reverse bias, and junction J3 is forward bias, and therefore there is a depletion wall in between, and therefore there will be no chance for current to flow through the device. Okay, this junction is forward bias, therefore holes will try to move here. There will be a movement of charge carriers inside this junction J1, but there will be no movement of charge carriers inside this junction layer J2, and therefore there will not be majority flow carriers, only minority flow carriers, or it is a leakage current. But once this particular level is reached, it starts from zero. So when particular this level is reached, then what will happen? Once these electrons get sufficient kinetic energy, very high kinetic energy, they will break this wall and come out of this region. They travel from here to here and they recombine with few holes, but since this is highly doped, few electrons will break this wall and come out and will try to flow through the device, and therefore internally electrons flow in this direction and current will flow in this direction, and because of device current starts flowing through it, voltage suddenly drops down. So this is the way how I can show. This is the voltage, how it suddenly drops from this potential, it gets dropped here, and current drastically increases like this. Okay, so this particular potential where this happens is called as VBR and is in the specification chart called as breakover voltage. Breakover voltage. Okay, and this is called as avalanche breakdown. This is called as avalanche breakdown. Okay, due to the kinetic energy acquired by the electrons once the junction gets break, it is called as the avalanche breakdown. And this kind of turning on device is very dangerous because this may create a hotspot, because a heavy current starts flowing through the junction and hotspots get generated, and there may be a chance that device may get damaged. So this method is generally not preferred, and for it we use an alternative method called as gate turn on method. Gate turn on method. So in this method what we'll do, we apply a gate potential, sufficient gate potential we apply here, and at low voltage, low NO2 cathode voltage, we'll try to test the working of the device. So let's check that my device is somewhere here at very less voltage. Okay, now I am applying a gate potential. So due to the application of gate potential, what will happen, the electric field will get generated between junction, between these layers, that is this P layer and this N layer. Okay, electric field is getting generated and these electrons will try to move here, but out of these few electrons, majority of electrons will move towards this side also by breaking this depletion wall, junction J2 wall. Okay, why? This is very easy to understand. Suppose if we are standing on the ground, picking a ball in the hand, okay, and if we drop this ball here, then this ball will drop here itself. Okay, because of the gravitational force. But if we throw this ball away, okay, with some force, then the ball will follow some trajectory path, okay, and then it will drop somewhere here. Why this happens? Because now here I have applied some kinetic potential, kinetic energy, and because of which the net force will get applied here and the ball will drop somewhat at larger distance. By the same token, by the same phenomenon, these electrons will acquire sufficiently large energy and they move from this junction, this layer P, and then they break this depletion wall and come out of this layer and will try to move towards the positive terminal of VAK potential battery. And therefore the breakdown of the device will take place somewhat earlier. Let's say here, I will show it here. Somewhat here at this position device will turn on. Okay, so you observe by applying a gate, the breakover voltage will get reduced. Okay, and this is, let me denote it by Ig1. Now if I further increase this gate potential, then what will happen? More and more electrons will acquire kinetic energy and they will travel as much as possible earlier as compared to the previous state, and therefore the breaking of the device, turn on of the device will happen somewhat earlier. So this is for, let's say, Ig2 and this is for, let's say, Ig3. Okay, you notice in this case Ig1 is less than Ig2 is less than Ig3 and device gets turned on quite earlier. Okay, now again there are two important points to note. Once the device is getting turned on, there is a minimum sufficient current below, there is a sufficient current that is flowing through the device. But important point to note here is that at this position, if I remove this gate potential, then also device will keep conducting. This is very interesting to understand. This is a very special feature of this device. Even though I remove this gate potential, the device will keep conducting. Okay, now the very interesting point to note, how we can make this device turn off. So for making this device to go off, we have to bring this current cathode current below certain value, that value of current is called as holding current. So IH is another important specification, and it is called as the holding current. It is called as the holding current. So if I bring the cathode current below below this holding current, that means if I bring the cathode current less than this IH value, then SCR gets turned off. Okay, this is very interesting to note. And in order to ensure that device will remain permanently in the on state, there is one more important specification that I have to look in, and this is called as IL, which is known as the latching current. So latching current is the minimum value of the current which ensures that device is in the on state. So somewhere here in this line, this value of current is known as IL. So we have to remember that IL is always greater than IH, and once the current value is greater than IK value is greater than this IL value, it is ensured that SCR is in the on state. Okay, so this is what the typical VI characteristics of SCR. Once the device is reverse bias, when the device is reverse bias, then there will be no flow of current. And it works exactly like a reverse bias diode. Why this happens? Because once the device is reverse bias, junction J1 gets reverse bias, junction J2 gets forward bias, and junction J3 gets reverse bias. But since these both junctions are reverse bias, there will not be any chance for majority carriers to flow across the device. Only minority carrier current flows, and therefore device is in the off state. So this region of characteristics is called as the off state of the device. This characteristics region is called as the on state of the device. Okay, and these are the very important specifications such as VBR, IH and IL. I hope you understand these characteristics. Thank you.